Today we're going to talk about 7 foods that have 0 sugar and 0 carbohydrates. It is true that most of your foods that you're eating are probably loaded with carbs. Carbs have been responsible for most chronic disease. There are 3 types of carbohydrates. We have a sugar carbohydrate, another type of carbohydrate called fiber. The thing about fiber is the fiber doesn't raise the insulin level. It doesn't raise your blood sugar. So the real problem with chronic disease isn't necessarily the fiber. It's the sugar and something else. It's actually this right here, starch. But there's actually 3 main bad things in the grains. Gluten, that's the protein part. Our bodies don't digest gluten. In fact, it's one of the only proteins that our bodies can't digest. Of course, you have the starch itself and sugar. Let's cover these 7 foods that have 0 sugar and 0 carbs. Number 1 is fat, and this would be any of the pure fats. Butter, ghee, which is a version of butter, cod liver oil, you have olive oil, coconut oil. All of the fats have 0 carbohydrate. Number 2 is any of the meats, beef, pork, lamb, chicken, fish. All of those proteins have virtually 0 sugar and carbohydrates. Number 3, organ meats. Liver is the most common one. You see, organ meats and meat are the most nutrient-dense foods that you can possibly eat. Number 4 on the list is eggs. It's so close to 0, we can even call it a 0, and there's never going to be a problem with you consuming eggs and getting too much sugar. There is 0 sugar in the whites, but most of the nutrition is in the yolk. We're talking about the active form of vitamin A. We're talking about choline, B vitamins, the trace minerals, and very important phytonutrients for the eye. Super healthy to reverse chronic disease. Number 5, shellfish. Shellfish have some carbs, okay, but it's so small. And the benefit of shellfish is huge. And I'm talking about shellfish that are wild caught. It can provide all the trace minerals in the most bioavailable way, like selenium, which tends to counter mercury. Shellfish is loaded with zinc, and zinc is so important in increasing and maintaining testosterone. And out of all the shellfish, we have oysters at the peak of all of those shellfish. Number 6, raw cheese. It's a really good source of protein. It has a lot of other nutrients in there. I always feel good when I have raw cheese. Of course, if you can find European cheese, that's better. Sheep or goat cheese is even better than some of the cow milk cheeses. Raw cheese gives you the best source of calcium. It's one of the best sources of phosphorus. It is a really good food to increase nutrients, especially vitamin K2, which, by the way, helps you keep calcium from building up in the arteries and the soft tissues. Number 7 are certain types of vegetables which have a tiny bit of carbs. Watercress, mushrooms, spinach, and arugula have just a tiny bit of carbs. And that includes lettuce too. Swiss chard, bok choy, kale, zucchini is another good one, celery, cucumbers, and I love cauliflower. Also, when you get into the herbs like pepper and thyme and sage and garlic,